Beloved chosen one, listen carefully. This message is not passing through your screen by accident. Heaven has slowed time for you right now because the place where you lay your head, the walls that surround you, the roof that shelters you, they are not spiritually neutral. You have felt it, even if you could not name it. The quiet tension when you walk through the door, the fatigue that shows up only at home, the arguments that ignite over small things, the dreams that feel heavier in your own bed than anywhere else. This is not coincidence. This is not imagination. This is divine intervention. You are not being accused, you are being alerted. There are homes that amplify peace, and there are homes that slowly drain destiny. And tonight, you are being called to discern which one you are living in. Not with fear, but with authority. Think about a normal evening. You come home from work after giving your best energy to your job. You were patient with coworkers, strategic in meetings, resilient under pressure. But the moment you step inside your house, something shifts. Your chest tightens, your patience thins. You scroll endlessly, procrastinate, or feel unmotivated to pray, plan, or dream. Why does clarity disappear where it should be restored? Why does rest feel unreachable in the place designed for it? Chosen one, your house is listening to what you tolerate. The spiritual atmosphere of a home is shaped over time by words spoken in frustration, by silence where truth should have been declared, by habits repeated without correction. This does not mean you are cursed. It means you are powerful enough that what surrounds you responds to you. You were never meant to merely live somewhere. You were meant to govern where you live. Some of you are fighting financial pressure that makes no sense on paper. Income is coming in, but peace is not. Bills create anxiety disproportionate to the numbers. Others are experiencing relational strain, misunderstandings with a spouse, distance with children, constant irritation with family members. And there are those of you who feel spiritually alert everywhere else but dull, distracted, or heavy at home. You pray powerfully outside, but struggle to pray inside. Ask yourself honestly, when was the last time your home felt light? This is where many chosen ones misunderstand the battle. You assume the struggle is inside you. But often, the struggle is around you. Environments hold memory. Atmospheres respond to authority, unnoticed. And when authority is absent, something else attempts to fill the space. But hear this clearly, you are not late. You are not defeated. You are being awakened. Hope is already forming even now, because the same home that feels heavy can be transformed. The same walls that absorbed conflict can witness peace. The same rooms that hosted anxiety can become chambers of rest and clarity. This does not require you to move. It requires you to stand. Imagine a different evening. You walk into your home, and instead of tension, there is calm. Your breathing slows naturally. Conversations soften. Sleep becomes deeper. Ideas flow again. Your children feel safe without knowing why. Your finances begin to stabilize, not magically, but systematically, because your mind is clear enough to steward wisely again. This is not fantasy. This is alignment. But alignment demands recognition. The ancient truth still speaks with authority today. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 24, verse 1. The earth is the Lord's, and everything in it, the world, and all who live in it. If everything belongs to God, then your home is not excluded, though which means disorder is not permanent, it is trespassing. Chosen one, you are not powerless in your own space. But authority must be exercised, not assumed. Silence is interpreted as permission in the spiritual realm. Delay communicates agreement. This is why procrastination is dangerous, not because God is impatient, but because environments are responsive. Let me ask you directly, if your home could speak honestly tonight, what would it say it has been absorbing from you? This is not about perfection. It is about decision. Right now, mercy is active. Grace is present. Conviction is a gift. The door is not shut yet. But understand this: homes do not stay undecided forever. They eventually reflect whatever is most consistently invited. And here is the hope that should steady your heart: you were chosen because you can shift atmospheres. You carry awareness others do not. That discomfort you feel is not weakness, it is discernment. God trusts you with territory. This is why you must not scroll past this moment. If this message is speaking directly to you, like this message so others who are waking up can find it. Share it with someone who has been feeling the same unrest but lacks the language. And subscribe to remain connected, because this is not the last instruction heaven will release to you. At the end of this moment, make one simple prophetic act. In the comments, type 77, not for me, but as a signal that you recognize this awakening and choose to take responsibility for the ground you live on. So I ask you again, chosen one, will you continue to live in your home, or will you begin to rule it? You begin to realize that the unease you feel at home did not arrive suddenly. It accumulated quietly, layered moment by moment, decision by decision, season by season. What unsettles you now is not chaos, it is recognition. Something in you knows that what you are carrying inside your walls does not match who you are becoming. This is where many chosen ones feel confused. You ask yourself why life feels manageable outside, yet heavy inside. You function at work. You show wisdom in public. You even encourage others. But when the door closes behind you, motivation leaks out of your body. The silence presses instead of comforts. This is not because you are weak. It is because you are sensitive to atmosphere. And your home has been shaped by more than furniture and routines. Homes collect residue. They absorb conversations that ended unresolved. They remember nights when worry was louder than faith. They retain habits that were never confronted because life felt too busy. Over time, what was once temporary becomes structural, and what was once tolerated becomes familiar. Consider a very ordinary situation. You sit at your kitchen table with a laptop open. Bills are spread out. The numbers are not catastrophic, but your mind spirals anyway. You feel an urgency that is disproportionate to reality. You tell yourself to think clearly, yet anxiety rises instead. Why does clarity vanish in this space? Why do simple decisions feel overwhelming here, when you manage far more complex problems elsewhere? It is because anxiety was hosted, not challenged. This does not mean you invited darkness intentionally. It means you were surviving. And survival seasons often prioritize endurance over alignment. But survival is not meant to become a lifestyle for the chosen. You are now stepping into awareness, and awareness changes responsibility. There are patterns tied to places. When discouragement consistently shows up in the same room, at the same hour, with the same emotional weight, it is no longer random. When family conversations repeatedly turn cold in the same environment, something is reinforcing that tone. When rest avoids you specifically in your own bed, something has been allowed to disrupt peace where it should reign. Ask yourself plainly, what emotional state does my home consistently pull me into? This is not about blame, it is about truth. The spiritual realm operates on recognition and response. When something is unchallenged long enough, it assumes permission. This is why delay matters. Not because God withdraws quickly, but because environments settle into whatever is most consistently practiced. Yet even here, hope is forming. The moment you perceive a pattern, you are no longer trapped by it. The moment you name what has been influencing you, you begin to separate from it. Light does not need to shout. It only needs to be present. There is a reason Scripture speaks so often about the inner and outer life aligning. The ancient words still cut through confusion today. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 12, verse 5. If you have raced with men on foot and they have worn you out, how can you compete with horses? This is not condemnation, it is clarity. If familiar low-level pressures are exhausting you at home, it is because you are being prepared for greater capacity. But preparation requires removing what drains strength unnecessarily. Your home should not be the place where your strength is consumed. It should be where it is restored. Picture a different rhythm. You return home, and instead of collapsing mentally, you decompress naturally. You review your finances without panic. You speak to your family without defensiveness. You sit in silence without restlessness. This is not personality change, it is environmental order. Order creates margin. Margin restores power. Some of you have normalized tension because it has been present so long. You say, "That's just how my family is," or "That's just how evenings feel." But what if it is not identity? What if it is simply unchecked atmosphere? Chosen one, you are not meant to be worn down by what should shelter you. There is also a quieter grief you may not have named, the grief of unrealized peace. You sense what your home could feel like, but it has never fully arrived. That longing is not imagination, it is memory. Something in your spirit remembers alignment. Here is where hope becomes practical. You do not need to confront everything at once. Transformation does not begin with force, it begins with attention. What you notice loses the power to remain hidden. What you address loses the power to dominate. The awareness you carry right now is already shifting something. Let me ask you one direct question, without softening it. If nothing changed in your home for the next 5 years, would it support or erode who you are becoming? This question is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to position you. You are being trained to steward more peace, more responsibility, more influence. And stewardship always begins with what is closest to you. Your home is not your enemy. It is a mirror, and mirrors can be cleaned. As this section closes, hold on to this truth: recognition is mercy. The fact that you are seeing clearly now means intervention is already underway. You are not late. You are right on time. Now you move from awareness into practice, not ritual and not performance. Practice the quiet, consistent alignment of daily life that invites the presence of God without forcing it. This is where many chosen ones hesitate, thinking they need special words, dramatic prayers, or perfect discipline. But divine presence is not attracted to ceremony. It responds to posture. God does not enter homes because of objects. He dwells where life makes room. Begin here: how you wake up. The first 5 minutes of your morning already set the tone of your home. Not because of mysticism, but because attention establishes authority. When the first thing you reach for is anxiety, notifications, or unresolved stress, you are unintentionally crowning those things. But when you pause even briefly and acknowledge God with your awareness, something shifts. This does not require spoken prayer. It can be as simple as inward alignment. I am not alone today. I am not carrying this by myself. That thought alone invites order. Consider a normal workday. You are preparing breakfast while thinking about deadlines. A child interrupts. A spouse speaks. Irritation rises fast. This is not failure, it is information. Instead of suppressing it or exploding, pause. Lower your tone. Choose clarity over speed. This decision, repeated daily, reshapes atmosphere more than any spoken declaration. God's presence follows obedience in the ordinary. Another practice is integrity in small things, paying bills honestly, speaking truthfully at work even when exaggeration would benefit you, turning off entertainment when it stirs unrest rather than peace. These are not moral checklists, they are environmental signals. They tell the spiritual realm what is welcome and what is not. Your home responds when your life aligns. You do not need to walk around rebuking shadow. You need to walk consistently in light. Think about finances. Some of you feel pressure not because of lack, but because of disorder. Bills paid late, avoidance instead of planning, fear instead of stewardship. Inviting God's presence here looks like responsibility, not perfection. Opening the account, making the call, writing the budget. Order invites peace, and peace invites clarity. Peace is not passive, it is structured. Family life is another doorway. God is invited when forgiveness is practiced quickly, when sarcasm is replaced with restraint, when listening becomes more important than winning. You do not need long speeches. You need humility in moments that cost pride. Ask yourself honestly, what daily behavior in my home contradicts the peace I am asking God to bring? This question is not meant to shame you. It is meant to empower you. Because what you can identify, you can adjust. And what you adjust consistently, God strengthens. Scripture has always emphasized this lived alignment, according to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 6. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Notice the wording in all your ways, not just prayer, not just worship. Ways are patterns, habits, responses. God straightens paths that are acknowledged, not merely admired. Here is another practical shift: what you allow to linger in silence. If resentment sits unaddressed, it shapes rooms. If grief is ignored, it hardens atmosphere. God's presence is welcomed when truth is allowed to surface gently. Conversations do not need to be dramatic, they need to be honest. One sincere sentence spoken in calm carries more authority than hours of forced spirituality. Hope appears when you realize this is sustainable. You do not need emotional highs to maintain it, just faithfulness. Over time, you will notice changes that feel subtle but compound quickly. Sleep improves, conversations soften, focus returns, creativity stirs again. These are signs of alignment, not coincidence. Your home will begin to feel responsive instead of resistant. Let me offer one more daily practice: gratitude spoken aloud. Not generic positivity, but specific acknowledgement. Thank God for meals, for protection, for provision, for growth. Even when incomplete, gratitude shifts attention from lack to stewardship, and stewardship invites increase. You are not trying to impress God, you are creating space. Here is the direct question you must sit with now. If God shaped your home based solely on how you live there daily, what would he be reinforcing? The answer is not fixed, it is forming. At this point, make one simple response, not as a ritual, but as alignment. In the comments, type "I choose order." This is not a slogan, it is a decision. It means you are choosing consistency over chaos, responsibility over avoidance, and presence over passivity. Writing it anchors intention into action. Remember, chosen one. God does not ask you to host him perfectly. He asks you to host him honestly. And honesty is always enough to begin transformation. Typing "I choose order" is not a public display, it is a private alignment made visible. It means you are no longer waiting for feelings to change before you act. You are choosing structure over impulse, clarity over avoidance, and responsibility over delay. Order is how peace gains permission to stay. This comment is also a marker. It signals a turning point where intention becomes practice. By choosing order, you are agreeing to let small, inconsistent decisions reshape your environment. Not overnight, not perfectly, but steadily. And steady alignment is how lasting transformation is built. Long ago, when an entire nation stood at the edge of promise, 12 voices were sent to examine what lay ahead. They all saw the same land. They all saw the same giants. They all walked the same ground. Yet 10 returned, convinced the door had already closed. They spoke with certainty, not because the land was impossible, but because fear had already decided for them. But Caleb and Joshua stood apart. They did not deny the danger. They denied the conclusion. Where others saw walls, they saw inheritance. Where others heard the past shouting, they listened for God's promise speaking. And while the majority voted for retreat, heaven listened to the minority who trusted. The door was still open even when most declared it shut. This matters because you are living this story now, just in a quieter form, not with tribes and borders, but with daily life, with a home that carries history, with finances shaped by past mistakes, with relationships marked by words spoken years ago that still echo. Many voices around you, sometimes even your own, say, "That's just how it is now." They call resignation wisdom. They call settling maturity. But Caleb and Joshua expose a lie. Time does not cancel promise. Think about a common scene. You are sitting at the table with paperwork spread out: rent, mortgage, school fees, expenses. You have tried before to bring order. You failed. Stress returned. So now you hesitate to hope again. You tell yourself it's safer not to expect peace. That hesitation feels practical, but it is not faith. It is fatigue. And fatigue often mislabels closed what is merely contested. In family life, it sounds like this: "We've talked about this too many times. They'll never change. It's better not to bring it up." Those statements feel protective, but they slowly lock doors God never closed. Silence becomes agreement. Distance becomes normal. Yet Caleb's spirit still speaks. The land is difficult, but it is still yours. This is the difference between realism and alignment. Realism measures obstacles. Alignment measures God. You are not being asked to ignore reality. You are being asked to interpret it correctly. The ancient record makes this unmistakably clear. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Numbers, chapter 14, verse 24. "But because my servant Caleb has a different spirit and follows me wholeheartedly, I will bring him into the land he went to." A different spirit does not mean emotional hype. It means inner agreement with God when circumstances argue otherwise. Caleb waited decades to walk fully into that land. Promise did not mean instant possession. It meant eventual fulfillment for those who refuse to let fear vote on their future. Ask yourself directly: have I accepted closed simply because resistance lasted longer than I expected? This question changes posture, because resistance is not rejection. Often it is confirmation that something valuable is still contested. Hope here becomes very practical. It looks like continuing to speak calmly in your home even when tension tries to lead. It looks like stewarding money wisely even when progress feels slow. It looks like choosing consistency when enthusiasm fades. These choices do not announce themselves, but they accumulate power. Your home learns from what you persist in. And now, quietly, choice appears not as pressure but as invitation. There are moments when truth passes by like a small lamp in the dusk. Some people walk past it, distracted. Others pause and shield it with their hands. To press like is not applause, it is choosing to protect a light that helped you see. It is a gentle way of saying, this matters enough to keep. Sometimes you realize that light was never meant for one house alone. To share is to leave the lamp in a window, not forcing anyone in, but letting another traveler know the path is still here. You may never see who finds their way because of it, but the way remains brighter. And then there is the decision to stay near the source. To subscribe is to set your chair close to the fire, choosing warmth over wandering. Not loyalty to a voice, but alignment with a direction that keeps reminding you the door is not closed. These are not clicks. They are quiet agreements, small human movements that say you believe possibility still exists. Imagine your home months from now, not perfect but lighter. Conversations breathe again, sleep deepens, decisions feel clearer. You did not force change. You refused to abandon promise. This is the inheritance of Caleb, not immediacy, but fulfillment reserved for those with a different spirit. So hear this clearly: as this section closes, the majority never decides what God gives. They only decide whether they will enter. The door remains open to those willing to believe longer than fear is comfortable. One last question stays with you now. Will you let the crowd define what is possible? Or will you stand with the few who keep the door open? You do not need to convince anyone else. Your stance alone shifts the atmosphere. When one person refuses to declare a door closed, hope gains oxygen. Stay steady, stay aligned. The land responds not to noise, but to those who keep standing when others turn back. There is a moment that comes after awareness, after practice, after deciding not to retreat, the moment of exposure. This is when what has been hidden, ignored, or quietly tolerated begins to surface, not dramatically, not all at once, but unmistakably. You start noticing patterns you once excused, reactions you once justified, spaces in your home that feel unsettled no matter how much you clean or rearrange. This is not regression. This is revelation. Many chosen ones misunderstand this phase and think something is going wrong. You may say, why does it feel more uncomfortable now that I'm trying to do the right thing? But discomfort at this stage is not punishment. It is precision. Light reveals what darkness relied on remaining unseen. Think about a simple, everyday situation. You come home after a long day and notice how quickly irritation rises over something small, a misplaced item, a noise, a question asked at the wrong time. Before, you would have brushed it off or blamed exhaustion. Now, you pause. You realize the reaction is larger than the moment. Something deeper is being touched. This is exposure. Or consider finances. You finally sit down to review accounts honestly. Numbers confront you, not catastrophic, but real. Avoidance had protected your emotions temporarily, but it also protected disorder. Now that you are looking directly, anxiety flares. That flare is not danger, it is resistance losing ground. Exposure feels threatening only to what cannot survive truth. In families, exposure sounds like conversations that can no longer stay shallow. Issues resurface that were handled but never healed. You may feel tempted to shut it down again, to keep peace by avoiding depth. But avoidance is not peace. It is delay. Ask yourself directly, what has been surfacing lately that I've been tempted to push back down? This question matters because what you suppress now will demand attention later, often at a higher cost. but what you face gently now loses the power to erupt later. Here is where hope becomes very clear and very practical. Exposure means the atmosphere of your home is responding to alignment. It means what does not belong can no longer hide comfortably. This is not an attack, it is a clearing. Scripture has always spoken about this refining moment. The Apostle Paul wrote in the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 12, "For the word of God is alive and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It penetrates even to dividing soul and spirit, joints and marrow. It judges the thoughts and attitudes of the heart." Notice what the word judges: not people, but thoughts and attitude. Exposure is aimed at alignment, not destruction. In daily life, this looks like choosing to respond instead of react. When tension rises, you slow down. When defensiveness appears, you ask why. When a habit no longer sits right with you, you do not justify it, you evaluate it. These are signs of authority forming. Your home begins to feel like it is asking something of you, not demanding perfection, but requiring honesty. This stage also explains why some relationships shift. Not everyone is comfortable when you stop tolerating what drains peace. Some will resist, others will adjust. This is not rejection, it is recalibration. As order increases, misalignment becomes obvious. Think about work life. You may notice certain environments feel heavier now. Conversations that once felt normal now feel off. You are not becoming judgmental, you are becoming discerning. Discernment often arrives as discomfort before it becomes clarity. Here is the hope: nothing surfacing now is stronger than what is forming in you. Exposure does not mean you are losing control. It means control is being transferred from habit to intention, from fear to wisdom. But this phase requires participation. You must not rush to silence discomfort. Sit with it long enough to understand it. Ask what it is pointing to. Ask what adjustment it is asking for. You do not need to fix everything at once. You need to respond truthfully. Let me ask you one more direct question. If discomfort is pointing to change, what change has been asking for your attention? This is where you anchor the moment. At the end of this section, make a simple prophetic act, not as superstition, but as focus. In the comments, type 888. This number is not magic. It represents alignment after exposure, new order following clarity. Writing it is a way of saying, I will not retreat from what is being revealed. Exposure is temporary, alignment is lasting. And remember this: chosen one. What is coming to the surface now is doing so because it can no longer remain where it does not belong. Your home is not breaking down. It is being cleared. The number 888 represents new alignment after exposure. It speaks of renewal that follows truth, order that replaces confusion, and peace that arrives once what was hidden is brought into the light. By typing it, you acknowledge that revelation is not your enemy. It is your doorway forward. This number also marks commitment to consistency. It is a quiet agreement that you will not retreat into avoidance or comfort, but move forward with clarity. 888 says you are ready to build with intention, allowing what has been revealed to become the foundation of lasting stability. By now, something steady has taken root inside you. Not excitement, not urgency, stability. The constant scanning for danger has slowed. The inner pressure to fix everything at once has eased. You are no longer driven by reaction but guided by discernment. This is a quieter phase, and because it is quiet, many misunderstand it. But this is not stagnation. This is settling into authority. Earlier, disorder demanded your attention. Now, calm does. You may notice days that feel almost uneventful. No conflict, no sudden emotional swing, just routine. And strangely, that routine can feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable if chaos once defined your baseline. Peace can feel boring to those trained by tension. Think about a simple evening. You come home from work. Dinner is prepared without rush. Conversations happen without sharp edges. You sit down, and for a moment, you notice there is nothing pressing you to escape, no urge to scroll endlessly, no need to numb yourself, and that stillness is not emptiness. It is safety. Safety is what allows strength to rest. In your finances, this phase looks like predictability. Not abundance yet, perhaps, but clarity. Bills are handled. Plans are made without panic. You are no longer afraid to look closely. The numbers no longer accuse you, they inform you. That shift alone restores power. In family life, stability shows up as emotional regulation. You do not rise to every provocation. You do not withdraw at the first discomfort. You allow conversations to unfold without forcing resolution. You trust time and consistency to do what pressure never achieved. Ask yourself honestly, am I able to let peace stay? Or do I feel the need to disturb it? This question matters because many people unconsciously recreate chaos when calm feels unfamiliar. They poke at problems that no longer exist. They reopen wounds that are healing. They mistake quiet for absence, but quiet in this season is evidence that something has been secured. Spiritually, this is the phase where you stop chasing constant confirmation. You no longer need signs for every decision. You trust the alignment you have already established. Faith matures here not through intensity, but through endurance. The ancient words speak directly to this settled confidence. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 4, verse 8. In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone. Lord, make me dwell in safety. Notice the language, dwell in safety, not visit, not pass through. Dwell. This is not temporary calm, it is sustained covering, and it comes not from effort, but from trust. Your home begins to mirror this truth. Sleep becomes deeper. Mornings feel less rushed. Even when challenges arise, they do not hijack the atmosphere. Problems are addressed, not absorbed. The walls no longer echo anxiety, they buffer it. This is where restraint becomes essential. Temptation now is subtle, not obvious disorder, but compromise. Skipping small disciplines, letting minor irritations slide into resentment. Assuming stability will maintain itself. But what is built slowly must be maintained intentionally. Maintenance is not fear-driven, it is respect-driven. Hope here is grounded. You no longer expect sudden breakthroughs to validate progress. You measure growth by what no longer happens. The arguments that don't escalate. The worries that don't spiral. The habits that quietly fade away. Your home has learned a new rhythm. At work, this steadiness shows as reliability. You are no longer chasing approval. You deliver consistently. People trust you without you demanding it. Influence grows quietly. Authority no longer needs announcement. Here is the anchoring question for this stage. Can I honor consistency even when it feels ordinary? If you can, you are learning stewardship. Because what collapses most lives is not crisis, it is neglect during calm seasons. But you are being trained differently. You are learning to value roots as much as fruit. Your home is becoming a place that can carry weight, emotional weight, relational weight, responsibility. Others feel it without knowing why. They feel safer, more grounded, less defensive. This is not because you became perfect. It is because you became stable. Do not rush ahead. Do not demand fireworks. Let peace deepen. Let safety become familiar. Let restraint strengthen your inner framework. Because what follows this season will require exactly this kind of foundation: quiet, strong, and unshakable. This stability you are learning is not fragile. It does not depend on perfect circumstances or constant effort. It is anchored in alignment. When pressure returns, and it will, you will notice it no longer controls your reactions. You respond with clarity, not urgency, because your foundation has been set quietly and well. As peace becomes familiar, your home begins to teach you something new about trust. You stop bracing for disruption. You stop scanning for what might go wrong. Instead, you live present. This presence restores creativity, strengthens relationships, and allows joy to reappear without explanation or apology. Most importantly, this season trains you for stewardship beyond yourself. What you have stabilized will soon support others. Your home becomes a refuge, not because you planned it, but because you learned how to maintain peace. Stability, once rooted, always multiplies outward. You have arrived at a threshold, not one marked by noise or spectacle, but by ownership. What once felt fragile is now anchored. What once needed constant attention now holds itself. Your home is no longer merely a place you occupy. It is territory you steward. And stewardship changes identity. This is where many stories quietly diverge. Some people reach stability and stop. They preserve peace, but they do not expand it. Others recognize that what has been secured is meant to radiate outward. You are being invited into the second path, not to strive, not to conquer, but to carry. Carry what you've learned. Carry what has been settled. Carry what has been healed enough to be shared. Think of your home now. The air feels different. Not perfect, but grounded. Visitors sense it even if they can't explain it. Conversations soften when they cross the threshold. Children rest more easily. You rest more easily. This is not because every problem vanished, but because authority took root. Authority always produces peace. In daily life, this shows up quietly. At work, you bring steadiness into tense meetings. You don't dominate, you stabilize. In family moments, you slow reactions instead of escalating them. In finances, you make decisions from clarity, not panic. Your presence changes rooms without announcing itself. Ask yourself honestly, who becomes calmer simply because I am steady now? That question reveals your impact. You are becoming what Scripture calls a keeper of ground. Someone entrusted not just with blessing, but with continuity. And continuity matters more than moments. Moments inspire. Continuity transforms. The ancient promise speaks directly to this stage. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 11, verse 24. Every place where you set your foot will be yours. Your territory will extend. Notice what expands territory. Not force, none but placement. Where you stand consistently becomes yours. Your home is the first place your foot stood. Now it is secure, and security always invites expansion. Hope here becomes generational. You begin to imagine what your children will inherit, not just materially, but emotionally. You picture a household where peace is normal, where truth is spoken without fear, where rest is allowed. That vision is not idealism, it is alignment thinking forward. This is also where responsibility deepens. Not pressure, but awareness. You recognize that what you host matters. What you allow shapes others. What you model teaches silently. This is why your choices feel weightier now. Not burdensome, meaningful. And now, gently, invitation appears again, not as instruction, but as image. Some people encounter a well of fresh water in the desert and drink alone. Others leave a mark so travelers know where to return. To press like is to set a small stone beside the well, saying, "This water was real." It honors what refreshed you. Others notice that many are wandering thirsty. To share is to draw a simple map in the sand, not forcing anyone to follow, but leaving guidance for those searching. You may never meet them. That's not the point. The path matters. And then there are those who choose to remain near the source. To subscribe is to build your dwelling within sight of the well, choosing to live from replenishment rather than memory. Not obligation proximity, not loyalty orientation. These are not actions of noise, they are gestures of guardianship. Even your words matter now. If this message has marked a moment for you, leave a comment not long, not polished. Just one honest sentence that names what has changed in you. Words spoken anchor decisions made inwardly. As this journey closes, understand this: you were never just fixing a house. You were becoming a keeper of peace, a bearer of order, a stabilizing presence in a restless world. What you've cultivated will outlive moods, seasons, even circumstances. You are not unshakable because nothing moves you. You are unshakable because you have learned where to stand. So hold this final question gently. What kind of ground will others discover because you chose to stand firm here first? Stay rooted, stay attentive, stay aligned. The crown you carry is quiet, but it is real, and your home knows it. You do not need applause for what you've built. Quiet authority does not seek witnesses. It settles into place and lets time confirm it. What matters now is not how visible your progress is, but how deeply it holds when life presses again. Your home has learned your rhythm. It responds to calm instead of reacting to fear. Even when uncertainty visits, it no longer dominates. You have trained the ground beneath you to remain steady, and steady ground always supports forward steps. There will be future seasons of movement, expansion, and challenge, but they will not undo this foundation. What you secured here will travel with you. Peace learned in one place becomes discernment everywhere else you stand. So rest without guilt, remain attentive without tension. You have not paused your calling, you have anchored it. And anchored callings do not drift. They endure, quietly shaping spaces and lives long after the moment has passed. You may walk away from this message now without doing anything at all. Nothing is demanded of you. Nothing is expected. What matters has already happened if something inside you grew quieter, clearer, or more steady while listening. That is enough. Truth does not require response to be true. It only waits to be recognized. If something here helped you name what you've been feeling, you are free to keep it privately. You do not owe explanation. Some insights are meant to be carried silently, allowed to mature before they are ever spoken. Growth often needs space more than audience. What touched you can stay with you, working gently over time. And if you sense that this message might help someone else, someone navigating unrest in their home, their thoughts, or their direction, you may choose to pass it along. Not as instruction, not as persuasion, simply as a quiet offering. Like leaving a door unlocked for someone who may need shelter later. Either choice is right. What matters most is that you now understand something you perhaps didn't. Before, peace is not accidental. Stability is not luck, and your presence carries weight. You do not need to rush to apply everything. Seeds take root beneath the surface long before they are visible. Let what resonated settle. Let it shape your next small decisions naturally. There is no dramatic ending here because real transformation rarely announces itself. It continues quietly, long after words stop. You will notice it in how you respond next time pressure comes, in how your home feels at the end of an ordinary day, in how you stand when old patterns try to return and find no place to land. This is not closure, it is continuity. Take what is yours, leave what is not. Walk forward without hurry. And if you ever return to this message, let it be as someone revisiting a place already familiar, steady ground you know how to stand on.